Howdy, I'm Drew Brophy. I've been a professional artist for over 20 years. It's my job to make things look cool. My wife Marie and I run a small family business where we get to design all kinds of cool stuff. Every day there's something new going on in my studio. Come with me behind the scenes and watch how a little bit of paint can make stuff look really cool. One of the coolest parts of my job as an artist is the extraordinary people I get to work with. One of them is filmmaker Seth Warren. He's an outdoor adventuring environmentalist who inspires people to live life to its fullest, sustainably, while using nature to have as much fun as possible. He built a custom veggie oil truck named Baby that he drove from Alaska to Chile in his documentary, Oil and Water. He then went to his next film, Nature Propelled. That's where we met. He interviewed me about riding waves. My son Dylan was inspired by Baby and how it was powered by nature's elements. For Seth's latest film, Playgrounds Reimagined, I designed the cover art, The World is One Big Natural Playground. That's when I took Seth paddleboarding for the first time.
Try anything once, paddleboarding.
He was instantly hooked. Seth has explored some of the craziest rivers in the world. He couldn't wait to try paddleboarding in the rapids. Seth and his family has just secured a permit to go down the Colorado River through the Grand Canyon. They had one extra spot. I sure was stoked when he invited me.
What we're about to go do is 225 miles through one of the deepest canyons in North America. The rapids are big and actually the water is flowing double its normal volume right now.
I've never even been down a river, so I've seen big waves. I think I can handle it, but I have a feeling he's gonna make me go first and get drilled a few times. And
luckily for you, Drew, I've got you a special jacket here. When, not if, but when you go flying off the board, this is gonna keep you afloat. Here's a helmet. Dang, look at you, whitewater guy.
We got GoPro cameras that we're gonna be able to catch my reaction getting drilled, or maybe we're gonna get Seth's reaction getting drilled.
I don't think this trip is going to be short on carnage. I think that there's going to be a lot of swimming. This is a sort of an experimental sport. There's been not a lot of people doing this. There's only been a few people ever to even attempt paddling the length of the Grand Canyon standing up. And these boards right here are actually designed for stand-up kayaking, going down the river. So not many people have paddled these boards, and we'll definitely be the first ones to be taking them down rapids with the caliber and the reputation of the Grand Canyon of the Colorado.
Well, we got to pack this stuff up, and we're still waiting on things. Patagonia has some suits coming for us because the water is 40 degrees.
It's going to be down and dirty, camping, only what you can carry down the river, 15 days.
I'm starting to get nervous.
Yeah, you should be nervous.
Well, let's load this stuff up, get on the road.
I'm really excited for Drew to go on this trip. It's a life-changing thing. It can also be really dangerous. There's a lot of things that can go wrong, and so that worries me a little bit. But I do know that when he comes back, he's going to be a changed man.
Oh, cool. Casey's here. Yeah, you made it. Oh my God.
Goodies for you.
Paddles, those look nice.
Yeah. So what's the deal with these?
So they're actually continuous reinforced thermoplastic. Super durable. And a bunch of stuff from O&E, from Ocean and Earth. You got a couple wet dry bags to put some gear in.
Oh yeah, this
Keep it pretty dry. One of the cool things with Ocean and Earth, I think you guys are gonna need the world's strongest leash. And with these vehicles and going down the river, might be.
We're definitely gonna need it. Thanks, Casey.
Right on, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
You too, buddy. Yeah, thanks for everything, man.
So just put it right on the edge of that roller, and it'll just roll right up, Seth.
You know, I'm from Montana, so we got mountains and rivers there, so we just kind of work with what we got. And I've been whitewater kayaking for, almost 20 years now. I met Drew here in California, and he took me out stand-up paddling for my first time. It's cool to see a sport like stand-up paddling evolving to where we can actually do it on a river. And it's definitely one of those things that's starting to really pick up back where I come from.
Hey guys, your wetsuits are here. I hear there's like this lining in here that's like, whoa, look at that. Oh my gosh. You guys are gonna stay warm.
So nice.
That Colorado River. Here we come.
My dad's gonna have a great time, but I know I'm gonna wish he's here. I'm gonna miss many things. His hugs.
All right, I love you, honey.
I'm gonna miss him.
Be
Thanks,
safe.
son.
Bye!
I already miss him.
You already miss him? Aw, I know. We're gonna be lonely without him.
Seth and I drove all night through the middle of the desert to get to Lee's Ferry, Arizona. It's a beautiful morning here in the Grand Canyon, and we're ready to charge the rapids of the mighty Colorado. After all, how hard can it be? The water was big, rough, icy cold, and super fast. All I could do was try to follow Seth's lead and do my best not to fall in. I got better every day, charging waves from every direction. Seth showed me how to surf the rapids and stay on my feet. It was amazing. Seth had it wired, and I had to learn quick. We paddled for 6 or more hours each day, covering an average of 14 brutal miles of river and rapids. What the heck was I thinking? 16 days of this? But it was awesome.
Hey! Oh yeah! I missed you guys!
16 days in the Grand Canyon, and I'm exhausted, but we had a great time.
I mean, 16 days with me, you end up looking like me.
As a surfer, and never really being on a river before, I didn't know what to expect, and the water was just so powerful, just the current alone, and it's bouncing off the canyon walls, and so it's swirling, and I mean, you just be sitting there thinking you're just going down the river, and all of a sudden a big whirlpool would open up and suck your board down, and you'd be...
Imagine just like a giant blender that you stand on a board, and it's off, and you're on the board, and you're just chilling in there, but then they turn it on. Yeah. And you got to stay up, man. That's the Grand Canyon.
It'd be so bad when you'd fall because the water's so cold, and thank God we had those wetsuits. Patagonia suits rule. 225 miles. We paddled every bit of it. And I learned along the way. It was funny, like Seth didn't really tell me anything until we were like at something really gnarly. And so we'd be going by this big giant hole, and he was just like, oh yeah, you see that thing over there? You stay away from those.
It wasn't so much about like, hey Drew, do this. It was like, Drew, don't do that. Just give him the information as he needs it. And I mean, I've never seen anybody step onto a river with the kind of intensity that Drew did on this trip, and essentially come in with only experience on the ocean, but taking those skills and that knowledge of the ocean and transferring it straight into water. It just proves like water is water. Yeah. And it was a beautiful thing.
Thanks, yeah.
When Drew's gone, there's still so much stuff for me to do. You would think I could take some time off, but I had to negotiate a contract for a skimboard deal. I had to put together the commission for the Reptiles Reptropolis painting. I have to update the website, order prints that people had ordered online. But I did manage to get in some hiking, and I decided that I'm gonna hike Mount Whitney. So I've gotten a lot of training hikes in. So it hasn't just been all work and no play.
I'm back in the office today, and man, it feels good. I got to shave and shower, and after being out in the wilderness for 16 days, I'm stoked to be here. You know, while I was going down the Colorado River, I found this piece of wood floating, and I thought it would be a neat thing to paint on. So I've been sitting here doing some sketches, and I'm gonna do a little painting of the Grand Canyon with a little paddle surfer on there to commemorate my adventure. And so I'm working on that. And then also this week, I have like a couple commission paintings I gotta finish. And then I've been working on these fish sketches and some things for boogie boards and skim boards. You know, it's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna be a lot of fun too. I really like this piece of wood. I was just kind of floating down the river, and I don't know what it used to be a part of. The whole time going down the river, it felt like I was going down into a big hole. So I kind of want to capture that. And then, you know, also the cliffs were just always going up and up and up. Man, it was just crazy. And I can remember Seth being ahead of me and just being like a little dot. You can really see how my adventures inspire my art. The solitude and peace in the Grand Canyon was so comforting. I slept so well under the stars. It was cold at night and blazing hot during the day. I cannot thank our team of rafters enough. Seth and I could not have done it without them. The side streams had swimming pool blue water, some filled with trout. Being totally alone. The rapids themselves were pretty amazing, and some of the raptors that went down got flipped, and it was kind of scary. And so we were all joking that this one rapid, lava rapid, everybody who flipped got a free entry into the lava swim team because they all had to swim down the rapid, including me. So the day we went down at Lava Rapid, everybody on the river was backed up. Nobody wanted to go down first. They sent us paddleboarders down first, and it was crazy. Our gear was our lifeline. Water in the mid-40s with rocks and logs rumbling about, so powerful that you would drown or freeze instantly without your life vest and wetsuit. Sometimes the rapids looked like big giant ski runs. We would bounce through the waves like mogul skiers. You never knew what was around the corner. More towering rocks, gnarly scary rapids, or both. I do not think anyone else has paddleboarded the 225 miles from Lee's Ferry to Diamond Creek through the Grand. I know some have tried and failed, and others have done just sections of it, but we did it all. By the last day, I was really beat up and ready to go home. I think Seth wants to do it again next year. All I know is it feels good to be back. I met Casey for a surf after work. He wanted to hear all about my trip and how all the equipment worked out. I'm just glad that the water's warm and the waves are good. We ran into another great surfer, Chuck Patterson, on the beach. I had him hang out with my kid Dylan, while Casey and I got wet. My first wave felt so good. I've been surfing with Casey since we were kids. We have surfed some crazy waves together. Isn't that what it's all about anyway? Having fun with friends and family, sharing waves and adventures as long as we can? I hope we're still doing this when we're crusty old men, telling surf stories while waiting for waves.
Reptiles Reptropolis is a local company here in San Clemente, and they sell reptiles and chameleons and cool little creatures. And they wanted to commission Drew to do a painting that they can also use to reproduce, to hang a banner in the window and maybe make t-shirts.
Hey guys.
Hey!
Hey Pete, hey Jessica.
Hi.
So since yesterday I started working on some sketches for us, and I was hoping you'd just show us around the store and maybe see some of the chameleons and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whoa! Look at that guy.
There he is.
Cool. Don't you want to hold him?
Sure. He's a Simbava panther chameleon. Very, very awesome, very docile little guy. He's got a super pinchy grip, so it's just gonna try and climb to your head. That's what they normally do. The higher they go, the safer they feel.
Isn't that neat, Dylan?
And his colors will change depending on how he feels or really what kind of background he has.
I was thinking like a crumbling city with the animals taking over. And I think this guy for sure should be like dead center, like just he's the king of the kingdom. What were some of the other things that you wanted in the drawing?
We wanted to do transparent eyes as somebody looking over us, looking over the store with the chameleon in the middle.
Yeah.
That's perfect too.
Yeah, it sounds good. Well, what I'll do is I'll work up a bunch of sketches.
Okay.
And then we'll send them over to you and we'll start just whittling down what you want and what you don't want.
Very cool.
We look around, check out some
No,
of the stuff?
absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
I can actually show you guys some of the chameleons eating, which is really cool to watch. But kind of watch this girl on the side over here and watch. Ready? Pow!
Whoa!
Tongue can actually shoot out 1.5 times the length of their body, so it's pretty. They can get it from really far away.
Uh-oh, here it comes.
Going after it.
Those crickets don't have a chance. Oh, the dust.
That's the ugliest tongue I've ever seen.
These guys right here are corn snakes. Probably one of the easiest snakes you can own.
I like the corn snake because it's got the orange, and it might be really good to put him in there because he'll be contrasting. You never thought this was part of my job.
Look, you're covered in snakes.
I feel like Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Look at this, Dylan. What Pete's got.
So this is a little tiny baby chameleon.
It seems like in the wild they'd be really vulnerable.
A lot of times what would happen is, you know, predators would come and get them.
So that's why their camouflage is so important.
Yeah, and every time they walk with each little foot, it's on the leaf, on the leaf, on the leaf.
Yeah.
He's a little guy.
This is a crested gecko. That's the one thing that's really cool about him. They jump. They jump.
God.
You can actually see it when it's about to happen. In the wild, they'd actually jump from tree to tree. He's gonna go for my face, I knew it. But you can actually see him like ramp up, like getting ready.
That is so great. Thanks so much for showing us everything.
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
We're very excited, you guys.
That was
Thank
fun.
you. Yes.
Yeah.
See you guys soon.
Okay,
right,
I'll be
thanks.
checking my email. Bye, thank you.
I worked on the sketch and found out what they wanted there at the store. And then I came back here to the shop and I printed out some different creatures. The chameleons just have so many different colors, and then, you know, the poison dart frogs, and, you know, my mind was just melted on all these reptiles. I saw a lot of reptiles in the Grand Canyon too, so this is just like perfect timing to be doing this. I mean, lizards and snakes, that's about all I saw. So I started doing some work and I did this sketch right here of some ruins, and after I played for a while, I came up with this. This was my first real sketch that I did. I got all the animals in there that I liked and kept trying to simplify it, put it with some lettering. You know, this is all just listening to music, and finally came up with something like this. And we're gonna do this in such a way so that there's a background painting that's gonna be horizontal, and then the lettering and stuff is gonna be more graphic. So I'll do that with ink pens, and then we'll put the two together in the computer to make their art. I'm back in the studio here, and I have the canvas that I'm gonna use. And I like to use these box canvases from Frederick's. They work really great. Get my center points going. And I just put some light lines on here so that I know where I'm at in the painting. So what I do is I have the main sketch right here, and I have like some lines in there, and I know exactly where I need to be. So this like center point right here is gonna be right there, and I'll use my projector to do this, so that keeps the integrity of the sketch, which the client's approved. So all I have to do now is just sketch around everything, basically just kind of creating a map. And every once in a while I'll turn on the light and see if I missed anything. And now that the lights are back on, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of touch up. You know, playing with it a little bit. Pretty sick. There's lots of like scales and little bumps and stuff, and since he's this focal point, I want to make sure I get all that in there. I'm just going to paint him green first and then add the stripes in. You can really already tell how it's going to be like all textury. You know, they have these in the store. This is the poison dart frog that the Indians used to get the poison from. They rub their tips of their blowguns and arrows and stuff in there. And they're really small, little tiny guys. So in my painting, I'm making everything big, almost like they've taken over the world. We're on our second day of painting the Reptiles Reptropolis painting, and it's coming out great. You can see we did this yesterday, and then I added the sun and really the waves and all this kind of stuff. In this area that I'd already done here, this is going to be like little whitewater areas. And so I do those first. I always do the light stuff first and then do dark around it. the final steps of the Reptiles Reptropolis project, and this is where I took the lettering and did some really custom stuff. And what I'm doing now is blacklining this art so it can be scanned and turned into a graphic. And what I'm going to do is just be drawing this out and get it all crisp and perfect, and then in the computer I will put this in a layer and then the painting in a layer to make one logo. The trick to this is having really nice pens and really nice paper, and then just take your time and make really fine lines. So I got a couple different pens here, and I got a really fine one. This tip of the pen can allow me to get this nice little curly Q on the end of the E. So now that I got the paintings done, I got the black lines done, what I do is I get everything put into the computer, and now all the pieces are being put together here. And this is amazing when you have an idea drawn out with pencil, and then you see all the components come together like this.
As always, this has been a busy week. The second Drew got back from the Grand Canyon trip, he had to hit the ground running and get to work on the Reptiles Reptropolis painting. And he also got the Lava Rapids painting done because that was important to him because of that crew that he was with out on the river. And then he worked on this painting, which was for him personally. So here in a couple minutes, we've got the Reptiles Reptropolis people coming to pick up their painting, and I can't wait to show it to them.
Oh my God. Wow, that's awesome. It's perfect.
Is that what you expected?
Absolutely, it's perfect.
So much better than what I expected, really.
Wow.
So you can see how, we got our sketch here, and then we have all the stuff that made up the components, and this is kind of it all put together. And it fits really good in here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
This is gonna make a killer t-shirt design.
Yeah, definitely.
A killer sticker.
The eyes are perfect too. I can't believe that what was in my head you were able to make real.
So I'm excited to get it in the store and see what your customers think, and then we'll just hang it right on that back wall. Does this sound good?
Absolutely.
Sounds great.
Let's do it.
All right.
One of the most important aspects of Drew's job is to sit down and really listen to what the client wants. Because so often somebody has it in their head what they want the art to look like, but they have a hard time explaining it. And so his job is to capture their vision. And the best way to do that is to listen and ask a lot of questions. And of course, it really helps to have a lot of experience and a little bit of talent.
It's amazing. That's exactly what I had in my head, like how I wanted it to be, and it was, so.
I'm always having to interpret what people say, so maybe I've gotten good at it. And just
Say so, for sure.
It's been a crazy adventure these past few weeks. I'm amazed that my job as an artist exposes me to so many wonderful people who are up to great things and enjoying life. People ask me where I get my inspiration from. Tell them it's everywhere. And as an artist, it's my job to notice it, experience it, so that I can recreate it for others to enjoy. My favorite thing to do is be with my wife and son, having a fire on the beach, watching the sunset, just being together. Life was good.